Hi everyone, welcome back. We're going to do another garden tour. It is week 15 now, I think. We're a couple days late. It's actually Tuesday, not Sunday, but Sunday was a very busy day moving home, and then it rained, and yesterday was busy, and it rained. Was it Sunday night? Yeah, it was Sunday night. Sunday night I had a bobcat 20 feet off the lawn here in the backyard. That was fun. Not at all. It was going after, I have some wild turkeys that have a couple of little ones and they hang out here, and it was going after the wild turkeys. Was able to scare it off, but I haven't seen the turkeys in a couple of days now. But hopefully scaring it once is enough for it to leave. I doubt it, but one can hope. Everything's looking really good in the garden. I was gone all last week, so didn't really do anything. The tomato plants are starting to die back and look pretty spent, which they're at the end of their season anyways. Pretty much like once we hit the end of the month, it's a guessing game as to when the first frost is going to show up. The cucumbers are glad that it cooled down. I'm actually starting to get actual cucumbers instead of mutant cucumbers. The hummingbirds love the zinnias. And the car show where I sold my flowers at the other day, or last week, actually did pretty good. I ended up having 13 bouquets worth of flowers picked, which worked out because I had a couple that I had to give away. I had promised the people that were helping take care of the critters here. And then I was able to sell about half. So for not having really any expectations in my first event, I was happy with it. So I'm going to run with it. Let's take a look and see what's going on in the garden though. There we go. Okay, so we have the hummingbirds fighting. Be careful with hummingbirds. Not that they'll come after you, but you never know when they're going to be flying by and about to take out your head. So it's really bright and sunny out here now, which is not a great time to video, but it's the time I got. So the cosmos are looking good. Caladiums, they need to push out, especially this middle section here. They need to push out their next round of blooms. Zinnia patches full of color. I think these are like giant coral ones, and they are huge. Like, here's my hand for reference. Like that takes up about half my hand. So it's got to be at least a 4-inch flower. Sunflowers are finally starting. That one's ready to be picked. Just starting to lift. Let's see what else we got going on here. I have this sunflower already opened up. Looking gorgeous. More zinnias. And I think, don't quote me because I just haven't looked that closely, but I think most of the Japanese beetles are gone. So it's just kind of a season you deal with Japanese beetles. Not really much you're going to do for them. I'm not going to bother to treat flowers, especially because I don't want to hurt the beneficial insects. But I think they're done. Maybe. Watch. Tomorrow I'll come out, there'll be a whole bunch. Tomatoes are looking so-so. I've totally given up on glads this year. Got a little bit of cracking from all the rain that we had, but the plants are definitely donezo. These cosmos are huge. It's like walking through a forest right here. Pull the tomato plant back so I can squeezy by, but yeah, a lot of the tomatoes, they have leaves that are dying out. A lot of my cherry tomatoes split from all the rain, but they're still tasty. One happy little kohlrabi. Onions are starting to size up nicely. Happy about that. These glads, like this one looks a little better than the rest, but still not great. Beets, they probably need to get pulled. I pulled the garlic this morning. Need to come through and replant peas and beets. and radishes. The snapdragons are starting to send up new blooms. Celosia, I think, is all getting ready to go to seed, which I want to save some more seed from them. Yarrow sent up a bunch more blooms. Basil's looking big and full. Same with the purple basil. These are the sea holly. I don't know if this is mature. Might be. Ow, kind of pokey. Gonfrina looks good. These might even be like a little old. That one's a little floppy yet. So what was that one? That one's nice and mature. See, you wiggle it, comes right back, versus wiggling it and it goes in a whole bunch of directions. White Gonfrina is finally getting some height to it. Bees love the basil. More yarrow. Sage is doing good. Beans are totally done. Potatoes ready to be pulled. Celery looks pretty much the same. I honestly probably can come through and cut some of the smaller ones and start freezing them. I like to freeze them and then put them in for soups. Kale looks good. I'll let that go right through fall. Cucumber plants. This one's finally looking a little better. We'll see if that actually makes a decent cucumber. Carrots. Carrots all look about the same. They're doing pretty good. This cucumber plant, these are the more of the eating variety. They gave me some nice cucumbers I have in the house. Squash is putting on some healthy looking growth. And a couple more squash plants. My parents said they had a lot of issues with their squash and cucumbers this year too. I almost think my mom said she had a lot of issues with her tomatoes. I think it's just the year. Sometimes you just don't have a good growing season for certain things, and I think that was the case. So, but otherwise, everything's looking good. Can't complain. Very happy. Now I just need to put a market out for my sunflowers and see if I can get somebody interested in buying some bunches of sunflowers. Let's go do an update on the pumpkins patch. Those giant sunflowers are still hanging out. I think, oh, I'm starting to see leaves on that one up there. Some yellow on that one. I've got a bud on this dahlia. We'll see. Hollyhocks are pretty. Alright, let's see if I get eaten alive by bugs down here. We've had quite a bit of rain the last week, which is good. Should help the pumpkins really take off. I've got to watch where I'm stepping so that a creature doesn't appear. Let's see here. I know there's this one that's getting pretty big. There's another pumpkin forming up on the vine. That's a leaf. I don't see much in terms of gourds yet. I do not have the right shoes on to go walking through there. Oh, there's some white pumpkins down there. You see that one? See it? One there, one there. I think that's rambling from this plant over here. Wow, this plant's really taken off. They're all marrying together in there. That's what we want them to do. I am not sure how much they will size up or mature before frost though, because this time of year I'd really like to see some big green pumpkins in there, and I just have not noticed that yet. Like almost something you should be able to see from here. in there, but I just don't see it. So we will see what comes out of it. I at least will have a handful of gourds to decorate with, and a plan for next year. So it doesn't appear that the deer have attacked anything yet, which is good. And there are lots of deer. Trust me. We do have, looks like some squash bugs down in there. And a slug. I'm not surprised by the slug either. But seeing as it's been a terrible cucumber and a terrible squash year, I wouldn't be overly surprised if it turns out to be not a great pumpkin year. We'll have to see how it works out. I was hoping for a whole bunch. I wanted to share some. But I just don't know yet. I at least know I have like 2 or 3, so I'll take that. No. Some volunteer tomatoes. Volunteer cherry tomatoes, it looks like. The real question is, what color will they be? Hard to say. That's an update on everything so far. Garden's looking good. I'm really happy with the success this year, so it's just a matter of harvesting everything now. I probably need to go pull all the red tomatoes and freeze them if I'm not going to do anything right away with them, or cut them up and can them. I could probably get that done, because that would only take a couple of hours to make like stewed tomatoes. Then what else? Oh, potatoes gonna be pulled. The onions need to size up a little bit, and more flowers. Flowers. So we'll see if I can get those all put together. I thank and appreciate you coming to watch every week and see what's going on and what's changed and what's new and what has stayed the same, because I feel like it just really stays the same, but I know it looks totally different from when I started. So I'm happy with the progress, and I think that's all I have to say. Yeah. So we will see you next week for the next update and tour of the garden. Have a good one.